Despite the fact that no witch hunt was needed, and that I still told you guys not to witch hunt just in case, you still launched a witch hunt. Well done, internet. So I've censored the names, replaced the player thumbnails, and I've neutered this video to the point where I'm not even sure the original story even makes any sense anymore. It's a real shame that this had to happen, and it's all thanks to the dozen or so of you who felt justified in being nasty to strangers on the internet for no reason other than to be nasty to strangers on the internet, even though I told you not to be nasty to strangers on the internet, and that there was no reason to be nasty to strangers on the internet. This is why we can't have nice things. So I present to you the old video, censored and ruined. It's very difficult to avoid making enemies on the internet. These comments you're seeing here, I don't mind too much about. They're low effort attempts at getting a response. I'm kind of more insulted that they think I'd be insulted by them. But this video will talk about something a bit different. I feel that nobody involved in the incident I'm going to cover has malicious intent, and that it's just a series of misunderstandings that have unfairly, but totally understandably, reflected poorly on me. And that makes it more frustrating. It started with an apology. Over on my business email, I received a message from somebody who felt his actions had resulted in people attacking my channels. Now I was interested. He linked me to the Steam forums, where he had posted something telling people to check out this channel that you're watching right now. As the YouTuber being shouted out, I'm flattered. It's lovely to think that somebody I've never met would take the time out of their day to post something like this. It raises many questions. Like, why did the suspect do this? Why did he word it the way he did, and so on. But for the sake of this story, all you need to know is that I had nothing to do with this post. He was immediately informed that advertising was against the forum's rules, and in one of those glorious twists that internet stories can take, he responded with this. Isn't this exciting? Where is it going to go? He then engaged in arguments with numerous people. These arguments slowly shifted from politics to personal attacks, and slowly towards YouTube. Uh-oh. Another YouTuber gets a shout out from Player 5. This profound statement by Player 6 says the best YouTuber is one who no longer YouTubes. And then Cave System goes there. He checks out my content. And insults me for being lazy, producing few short videos. Because he's now in a position where he can't say anything positive about me, can he? Big Tower goes one step further, sure to dislike my content whilst using adblock. The suspect responds by insulting him for liking Assassin's Creed Origins, which funnily enough is also one of my favourite games of all time. Cave System goes back on my YouTube channel for more. This time he's attacking my flight video from a month ago for being short and easy to produce. Poor plane video. Of course, he forgets about the 18-minute analysis video that I post the following day, but now I'm the one being sidetracked. Player 7 chimes in with his support of Cave System summary of my channels with LOL. Big Tower may or may not profess his love for one of the best games of all time. Player 11, not to be confused for Cave System, refuses to check my channels out, which at this point I'm kind of thankful for. The debate rages on for a bit longer, a few more YouTubers get shouted out, and Big Tower returns, having spent the last 12 minutes of his life disliking all of my content with all 3 of his channels. While using adblock, of course. Player 9 one-ups him to look good on the internet, but I don't really think he disliked my content. The suspect is accused of having his head up my arse. The suspect then changes his mind. But what about? Is he saying that I am no longer his favourite YouTuber and that another has replaced me? This really isn't working out well for the Click Empire. Player 11 blocks my channels, and then a Valve employee locks the thread for being toxic. Well, that was a rollercoaster. Isn't the internet something? Every day, billions of people interact in new and unpredictable ways. At its most fundamental level, this particular story is a series of misjudged responses, with my reputation caught in the crossfire. I'm innocent, guys. Honest. Well, not entirely. After all this had happened, I reached out to a few of the people involved. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe that's just asking for trouble. But I guess a part of me wanted to know how they'd respond if I tried to clear up what happened. I have my reasons, but it's kind of hard to explain in this video. Something to do with a warm fuzzy feeling whenever internet strangers surprise me. Cave System reasonably said that he's indifferent about me and my content. I don't produce the kind of stuff he's interested in watching, so he doesn't have an opinion on it. He says there's very little on YouTube he cares strongly enough about to go out of his way to dislike. I also messaged Big Tower. I wanted to say how great Assassin's Creed Origins is, but I thought that was taking it too far. Unfortunately, my comment was enough reason for him to dislike me even more. Also, the irony isn't lost on me that, in the world of ads, there's no worse publicity than a genuine shout-out from a fan. And lastly, I spoke with that fan, the suspect, who caused this whole mess with its confrontational and argumentative attitude. He was friendly and still apologetic about it. And although I'd rather it hadn't happened at all, it was obvious that he regretted what had happened and had learned from it. And we ended up having a chat for a bit instead. Yet another unlikely encounter from the billions the internet enables every day. If you must know, his favourite video is one I did last year when I filmed my walk to the shops. It connected with him at some profound level. Some might have been why he chose to shout me out on the Steam forums. Who'd have thought that a video like that would have led to this? I guess you should take away from this story that sometimes, beyond your control, people will hate you and what you do. There's nothing you can do to avoid it, and it's probably not worth your time to try and redeem yourself in their eyes. Life's too short, and let's face it, life's too complicated. Beyond our immediate friends and family, we are quick to make judgments about others. I'm guilty of this as well. If we make an opinion about someone, it's either that they're good or bad, and we use any additional information we learn about them to further reinforce that first impression. It's hard to recover from that bad first impression. Thank you for letting me share this strange little story with you. It's sad this next thing even needs to be said, but please, don't go witch hunting. That's obvious, right? It seems like people want any excuse to be nasty to strangers online. Don't do this. And if you're going to do it, don't make it over something as petty as this. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit frustrated and insulted by what happened, but I turned it into something positive by sharing it with friends who I knew would see my point of view, and by having a laugh about it with them. And now I'm sharing it with you. God bless the internet.
30.
Fuck. And that was the video. As you can see, there was no need to witch hunt anybody involved. All of it was just misunderstandings and flawed first impressions. The guy shouting out my channel behaved immaturely, but has since apologised. The rest of them behaved the way they did in response to his behaviour. I'm sorry that I have to patronisingly spell this out to you, but it seems like some of my viewers didn't understand it before. Or maybe they did, which is even worse. This is a channel where I want to be free to talk about stuff that might be more complex than most YouTubers talk about. More subtle, more nuanced. I'm absolutely sure that the vast majority of you appreciate this and don't want my content to change. But if a handful of you are going to use that as an excuse to be nasty to others, it reflects poorly on me, and I'm going to have to change the kind of content I make moving forward. Whatever I do, the trolls win and I look bad. I'm disappointed that a dozen or so of the 30,000 people who watched that original video actually bothered to spend time hunting down, threatening, and posting nasty images to those on the original forum posts. Frankly, I'm disgusted to think that people like you follow me. It's a shame that I have to censor and change the content I make in preparation for this kind of response. From my point of view, I want to make the best videos that I can. This one is no longer the best that it can be. It has been nerfed, sidetracked, and bloated into something bigger than it needed to be. Maybe I should just stick to aeroplane music montages.
Left. To stop. Well done.
Fuck.